Hey everybody, on this episode of the Timeless After Show, we're breaking down Season 1, Episode 6, Watergate Tape. The crew heads back to the 70s and we learn a little lesson about trust. Let's do it.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AfterBuzz TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
Yes! Hear that, little David Bowie?
Check out her t-shirt, though.
Oh, yeah, I should have said we should have done one of their songs.
So Cosby, so Zanash.
It's all right. Bowie is awesome, so you know.
When we go back in time, we'll fix this.
It's all right.
So is that David Bowie singing that?
It
It
is.
doesn't
Yeah.
sound like a traditional David Bowie
I mean, but
song.
also a lot of his songs were kind of in different genres all the time, too.
Yes.
Look at him go, man.
I had no idea.
Look at him. And look at that young face of David Bowie right there on the
I
YouTube
know.
video. Look at him go. Hey everybody!
Makeup.
Welcome to the Timeless After Show here on AfterBuzz TV. We're breaking down the entire season of Timeless, 1 week at a time. Why not? Let's do it all 1 week at a time. I'm one of your hosts, Frank Moran. You can follow me on Twitter at HappyGoJackie.
You want to start on the
I would
far
love to
left?
start next to you.
Oh,
'cause
okay. I didn't
you're my
know.
wingman. My partner in crime when it comes to show intros.
Yes. I'm Alexis Torres. You can find me where all shenanigans will ensue at ATorres890. That's ATORRES 890.
I like the energy and enthusiasm.
I'm trying.
Team, go! And my there we go.
Oh, God.
Yeah. Anyway, my name's Kari Lane. You can find me online at Kari D Lane, and we are in the chat. You can see her laptop. I got my phone.
Yep.
So if you want to join in the discussion, we are here for you.
She's like a beacon of light. You can see her with her coral lipstick.
So cool. So cool.
Yay!
And I'm Chris Howard. Reach out to me at Chris Howard Live on both Twitter and Instagram. Say hello, talk about the show. Let's do it.
Oh, look at that. Look at that. So, yes, as Carrie was mentioning, like us on Facebook. Give us those 5 stars on iTunes. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Hop in the chat. Share your thoughts about the series in general or this episode in particular. In fact, at the end of the episode, speaking of those iTunes reviews, Alexis will be going to the iTunes reviews and reading one of those. And out of those, we'll pick one of the lucky winners to receive that second of 2 Timeless bags that Kari Lane has so kindly provided us to give to you,
Thank you,
our loyal
Kari.
viewers. Now, before we get into the episode in particular, folks, it's all about trust. Do anybody have any deep dark secrets that you haven't shared with the
I
rest
don't
of the
trust
panel?
any.
Oh yeah, let's all tell our deepest secret just to
Not
start
here.
here.
Not
Not
here.
to y'all
Not
out there,
here.
you
No.
guys out there.
You too.
No.
What?
Yeah.
Come on, this is all about it. Yeah,
No.
that's
Yeah,
right.
this is how you get trust.
That's the comment for this week.
What's your deepest secret that you
And
don't want anybody to know?
this is the last Timeless After Show because we're all just not going to be here.
Oh, come on, guys.
Where's your cojones?
I don't have any. I'm a lady.
Exactly.
That's why.
But I think before we lay into the episode in proper, I think we've all talked about this show. Like, man, there's a lot of just general questions in the air about this series and people's motivations. And overall, do you guys feel? I feel like this started answering a lot of questions that we've been having, and I feel like
This
a lot
was
of
the
viewers have been
episode.
having.
This was the episode to get all the exposition for sure.
It's the one you've been waiting for, and you're like, okay, we want to know this answer. And there's a lot
Yeah.
dropped.
Yes.
It's like moments of mic drop, and you're like, oh.
So much.
Yes.
So much.
And
Yeah.
you told me one lie. That means I can never trust you about anything ever again. Which
I don't want to get
That's
into that.
true.
Yeah, we all talked about that.
Oh,
They're angry
all right.
the entire
We all
time.
wondered how they were going to deal with that and what was going to happen and what was going to be the moment
and
of
we
implosion.
talked about it too.
Yeah.
They were like, "Oh, it's gonna make them angry, and they're not gonna talk to each other and not trust." But
Third
it was like,
episode,
it was
yeah.
just so quick. And I
No,
was
but
just
even like the diary notebook thing is like, again, it's one plot line in movies and TV shows that drives me nuts. Like, it's like, Alexis, you told me one lie ever.
I did.
I can never, ever, ever trust you again.
Fine.
You're like, it's
Stupid.
one thing, and yes, maybe it was a
it's-
big thing, but it's like, calm down.
But it's so different.
They're
because
still the
fact
same
that it's-
people.
Yeah, and the fact that this happened in the future, like it doesn't.
That too, that's different. Well, no, she lied about not talking about meeting up with him.
I know.
But still.
Well, we'll get into that as we
Yeah.
break down the episode. And we start off, we learn a little bit more about our man Rufus. He's got a little home life,
I'm
little
so
This was
family.
the Rufus episode. This is cool.
Yeah.
I said hi
And
to
Rufus
him.
watches.
Yes,
That's
Malcolm.
right.
Yes.
Malcolm.
We think you're awesome.
You're awesome, but except you got to come on by Skype. So Malcolm,
No,
Nope.
no.
Do not mention that.
We already talked about
we're
this.
not supposed to mention it again. Oh my
No.
god.
No.
You just
It would
gotta
be
fly.
awesome.
No, he has to fly to LA and come in the studio.
Yes.
All right.
And he
That's
can
That's
hang out with us
easy. Come
anytime,
on.
though.
nice to be a
Anytime.
big star.
Don't listen to him. Anyway.
So we find out Rufus has got a mom that shares the house with him. He's got a younger brother named Kevin who played a basketball game that did not go so well.
Yeah, it's unfortunate.
But then he gets a text that Mason's outside waiting for him. And who's in the car waiting for him as well but our creepy Rittenhouse dude as well from a couple episodes ago.
I think is that his name?
Creepy Rittenhouse dude.
Creepy
Yeah, I think
Rittenhouse
that's it. Creepy. Well, we do learn his real name by the end of the episode, so...
Oh, did we?
We do.
Yes.
Yes.
I missed it.
So yeah, but then he
Yeah.
figures out, hey, guess what, Rufus? You need to go back because Flynn is headed back to June 20th, 1972.
Important date.
Yes, but Rufus didn't know it. Although I guess I know what happened back in the 70s, but I couldn't
I don't
tell you the
remember the
specific
date,
date.
yeah.
No. But like, okay, June 20th, yeah. But we found out that's when the Watergate scandal was happening back then. And there's always that talk about the 18-minute missing minutes of tape.
How cool was this? We actually found out
That was a
what's
good
been
way
missing.
to do like historical fiction.
Yeah.
You know, because
Yeah.
they're like, okay, we know these facts, let's fill it.
But how do you know
I
it's
loved-
not Rittenhouse?
Well, we don't.
Well,
but
yeah, that was
it's-
like,
there's
we
no
don't.
evidence, you know, so that's why
Right.
it's historical fiction.
So that's why
But
it
at
probably
this point-
happened.
Well, it could still be historical, we just don't know what part's fiction.
Right. You get a point.
But I like it where they tease us with a really cool premise to find out what's on this 18 minutes of tape, and that starts the episode, but it doesn't become the whole main thrust of the episode.
Yes.
Which I thought was really cool. A little bait and switch.
You could go any direction with that. It could have been UFOs. It could have been anything. You know, zombies.
Zombies. Chris, like where you're zombies, guys. Nixon was talking about zombies during that 8.5
Vampires,
minutes. I've got to tell you about the truth about vampires and zombies, guys.
Oh my god.
Get around. You're not gonna buy this. But I do like. I feel like Mason. I did like in that conversation was really sticking up for Rufus. Like, hey, you don't need to lay on the heavy hand with the tactics
Well,
and stuff.
yeah, I mean, we knew that from previous episodes that I was gonna say Malcolm. That's incorrect. Mason is very protective of Rufus. We just don't know specifically why. But I like that we're still getting that, even though they're in a really terrible predicament.
So it was strange for me to find out that Rittenhouse was kind of calling the shows for Mason. I didn't get that. I didn't get that they were funding the whole thing, and they were really kind of on the same side. But Mason reluctantly, yeah?
Yeah, because I feel like
Yeah.
Mason's at the beginning. I feel like he's been under. I think you get the idea that he's always been under Rittenhouse's thumb.
yeah, I feel like
Yes.
that he's just kind of like how Rufus is right now, where they have something against him and they're using him.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it just kind of all came together for me. Like, so I had a breakthrough.
No, yeah, because I mean, I thought Mason was just going to turn on him at one point and be like, "No, I'm the one who runs Rittenhouse" or something like that. But
It doesn't look like
it
he's
doesn't look
powerful
that.
enough to
No.
do that.
Nope.
And what was interesting though is the guy in the car when Rufus mentions Rittenhouse, like, don't ever say that name. Like, even he's on the inside, but he still doesn't want Rittenhouse. Just the name. Don't even mention the name.
Well, it's supposed to be like a secret organization, even though everybody knows about it.
No.
Yes.
I was kind of like, "What's the
But
point?"
it goes right back to, they said that the woman had said, the doc had said that it goes back to what, 1745 when Rittenhouse was the
1778,
inception of
Yep,
wasn't it?
1778.
1778.
So
Yeah.
is our next episode right before Rittenhouse was born then?
That's what I was
Yeah.
thinking. That's what it looked
70s.
like.
Oh, it's 54? Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Basically, he tells Rufus, like, hey, guess what? The team's going back, and we want you to get that 18 minutes of tape. We want to stop Flynn from, or anybody, hearing what is on that 18 and a half minutes of tape. So, yeah, and he gives Rufus a number to call back. We want you to do constant updates. The nice old school phone number back in the day. It's like, all right, cool. All right.
Right.
We always like the alphabet as part of the phone number. Mm-hmm. And for a second, it thought me like, how's he going to know exactly who is going to be around at that time to be able to hear all
take
this? And we find
Well,
out.
we
Might
know
get
earlier.
rerouted.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But as we're talking about Lucy knowing about her father's name from her mom, she just basically spends a lot of the episode just sitting outside wondering, should I go to the door? Should I not go to the door?
But I love how we finally got to see what was on the paper, which was Benjamin
Yes.
Cahill, and I was like, "Oh man."
Yes.
Yeah, I was
that
still
name-
waiting for the twist.
Well, I mean, we got it at the end.
Yeah, I was
but-
waiting for something
Well,
like, oh,
it's
it was.
not
Oh, you're right. We
connected
did
to
get
Flynn
it. Yeah.
yet.
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 He could
Yeah.
still be her son in the future.
Yeah, I mean, we have no idea. Just apparently they went on adventures
Yes.
together.
Adventuring.
Or it could be her future partner.
Yeah, maybe that she wanted to fix some stuff
Yeah.
that Rittenhouse already did that she couldn't
Should
do
be.
when she was younger.
Yeah.
Oh boy, you
Maybe
guys
her
are twisting my
protege.
brain. You're
I
twisting my
mean,
brain.
We're going to watch Chris meltdown in this episode of the Timeless After Show.
I can only take so much.
Like, here, that makes sense because, like, again, not to get too much into prediction territory, but like the fact that it could be like maybe like that's her like protege, like maybe he was a student, and then
Who? Her father?
No, Flynn.
Oh, Flynn. Okay.
Like
yeah.
if Flynn
All right,
was
I'm
a
like,
Flynn-
son of a gun.
No, like if
Maybe
Flynn
her
was
father was her son.
Because if Flynn can't be her father now,
Right.
clearly.
Clearly.
so he could be her son.
Right.
He could be her partner romantically or not.
Now that
from
would be
the
interesting.
future.
That would be an interesting.
Because what
plot
if
line.
he's her
Yeah.
lover later?
Yeah,
Right.
you never know.
Or just protege too. Like there's other options.
Yeah, like I just like there's so many different ones, but I love that we already
'Cause
knocked one off. Of
Unless she died, why would you have her journal? You need to be important to her.
Yep. In some way, shape, and form.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And he said
Yeah.
apparently we're going to be quite the team.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying. They must have done something
Yes.
together.
Yeah.
Well, it's going to be curious to see what their relationship is because given the rules where you can't go back into your own lifetime.
Yeah.
So
But
somehow
we
he
can
got
get-
that
but
he got
we
that
can get
journal.
flashbacks, though.
That's true. We got that journal somehow. So it's certainly that journal made its way back to Garcia Flynn.
Yeah.
So I'll be curious to see how it got there. But we do find out that they got to get gussied up in the 70s outfits. Now, are you guys big fans of 70s fashion? Like
I
you
am.
say,
Some.
Sometimes.
some.
I mean, some of
I got
it's
my
pretty
bell-bottom jeans on, so.
Ah,
kinda
I
cool.
didn't even notice your pants when you came in. All right.
I like the Black Hollywood Live because we have that platform here too. I like that kind of funky colored
Some of it.
70s. That's cool.
Yeah, I feel like they're a little bit
The big
bolder.
afros and
Not
I dig that.
Yeah, not the polyester, not
I
the
don't
material,
like the material
type.
Yeah,
No.
I don't like the
Look of
material
some
of
of
the
it.
70s is great. I love that people didn't really care about
Oh.
matching to a point.
Well, like the get down, like that, the fashion in
Yeah.
that looks really
Get
cool. So I mean,
Yeah.
it depends. Like some of this, it was more towards Washington, so maybe they weren't so cool and hip as like New York or.
Yeah.
I did like
something.
Rufus's line there. It's like these colors don't exist in nature.
That's what I love about it. Is that
Yes.
everything is great about the 70s, like look wise, but then you feel the material, you're like, oh my god, this is the most uncomfortable thing
Yes.
I've ever worn.
So that's kind of
Or
cool.
they wear nothing. Like there's
Yeah.
that too. Because we saw the girls that were running around on the grass that were just wearing just dresses and it
Free
was
love.
flowy. Yeah, you know. So like it depends.
There's the halter top roller skate girl with her booty
Oh my
shorts.
god, I loved it. I was like, oh, the 70s.
So yes, there you go. Some.
Some of them.
some
All
of
right.
I feel like that's how we feel about most decades.
Most fashion, yeah. You're like,
'Cause I'm
some of
like,
this-
there's 90s. I don't even want to talk about.
80s is kind of weird too. 80s is really weird.
I liked my mom's style in the 80s. I thought she was real stylish. My mom. But
I don't know. Shoulder pads have got
Man,
to
she
go.
had so many jackets, just like these big. I love you, mom.
The military, almost like I got armor.
Yeah,
Parachute
and she used to
pants.
put oh,
That's
hey
okay,
man.
though. Yeah.
The parachute pants are
Yeah,
cool.
that's
I mean, they
Oh my
came back
God.
a little bit.
So they do happen to come across as they're in the park a little peaceful protest that turns less peaceful when they start getting some of the hippies interact with some of the military guys, and Flynn uses that as an opportunity to get the team,
so smart.
abduct them, and bring them back, which is cool. I
Yep.
thought a nice callback to the same hotel that they stayed in when they were there.
Yes,
at the night they were
I
having
like
lunch.
that.
Awesome was that?
Yeah.
I
That
was neat.
loved that.
Throwback.
That's-
From the Lincoln assassination. right?
Yes, I thought that was a really
so
cool.
cool.
And what I did like was finally we get to see the whole team interacting with Flynn. So far we've just
Yes.
seen bits and pieces, mostly Lucy interacting with Flynn, but now we get to see everybody in the same room.
Which they
And
revealed.
and finally the where they actually have a conversation like we've been asking for. Here's what happened. Here's who Rittenhouse is. Here's who they just
Yeah.
laid it out.
Yeah.
And what I like is this show just basically. I do like when they pull these moments out. Like I already got the Nixon tape, and I'm gonna play it for you
Yeah,
right
that was
now.
crazy. I wasn't
Yeah.
ready for that.
Flynn's
I was
on
like,
it.
no, I
Flynn's
already
on
have
it.
it.
Flynn's serious.
Yeah, because I feel like kind of like with the Nixon tape, there's always that weird moment in like a time where they were like, oh, he's already there. I'm like, how are you not already accomplishing your mission? Since
Why don't
the
they just
lifeboat
set
is
it a
still ticking.
few hours earlier?
Before.
You know,
Yes.
it's like
Yeah.
you got to get up early in the morning. Just set your alarm an hour earlier.
That's why I don't understand
idea.
why they have to get there like hours after he's already
Day
there.
before, even. You
Make
know,
it work,
If
guys.
you
Give
yourself
don't-
some
if you
time.
can't do time.
Yeah,
That's
like,
a time management issue.
Yes.
Give yourself some
Yeah.
time. Put some blank
Time
spot
travel.
time in
I
your
mean, I know-
calendar.
I know it's for
Yeah.
plot, but still, it's just kind of like, what's the point in that?
It does make sense if you know the exact date that he traveled back to. Why not? Yeah.
Just go like
Yeah.
a couple hours before
Yeah,
he got there.
that would make sense.
Well, if you
you're
don't know
waiting
what
for him.
time, because they just know the day,
True,
so
true,
they
true.
should just go
Yeah,
a day in
before.
advance.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and just hang out.
Yep.
Timeless
there.
writers.
Do you think because they might have jet lag?
That's why you go a day in
You go-
advance. To
Yeah, I mean,
Give them some time to rest.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
get,
get
a good,
some-
Yeah.
get a good night's sleep, guys.
you
We'll
never
go
know.
stop Flynn in the morning.
You wanna have
All
energy.
right. And then so Flynn plays the tape, and we hear Nixon talking about Rittenhouse, and that he wants to take care of the doc. He's under the thumb of Rittenhouse, and
I thought Rufus was just gonna like poop because
Yes.
he looked so uncomfortable. He's just like, we're not supposed to hear this tape. We're not supposed to
Right,
hear
yeah.
anything. I don't know what to do with my face and how because obviously we're cuffed. So I know
was
it's a
cool.
weird
No, no.
expression.
And I didn't think they were going
but-
to really play the tape.
I didn't think so either.
I thought they'd find a way out.
But
right?
But again, I liked that we had something to fill in the time, even though again we don't know if it's true or not, since obviously nobody actually knows what was in those 18 and a half minutes. But I like that we got something.
well, no,
Yeah.
Timeless is based on a true story. They
Yeah,
say that
so I
right there
think-
at the top. Don't you see that?
I think that was the true 18 minutes.
Oh, hi, Alexis. How are you?
She's batting her
She's
eyelashes.
like, no. She's all just stop.
No.
She,
But so
she's
finally,
not as gullible as she used to be.
I feel like
gone
Flynn,
now.
as soon as he gets Rittenhouse said a couple times from Nixon, he's like, it's like, see, Lucy, see, he said Rittenhouse. I'm not crazy.
I
Even though he
appreciate that.
sounds crazier.
Oh
when
yeah, he totally
says
sounds
it,
crazy.
though.
But it is something outside of him to be like, it's not like, you know,
not up
all
here.
an internal
Yeah.
issue that he has.
And I think we all felt like we knew that he's obviously telling the truth. We just don't know how much of
And we still don't know how much of a good guy he is either, because it sounds like he's taking drastic and extreme measures to deal with an issue that is a legit issue.
But it also seems, and it also seems like Rittenhouse is also going through grave lengths to get to whatever they need to get
And
to.
they're assholes too at Rittenhouse. I mean, they're not nice
Clearly.
people.
They threw Rufus's brother's basketball game. Like, if they get that minute of a detail, come on, guys, really? You got to go to that extreme?
Enough of the theatrics.
But they jump right to think about your family. You know, they don't.
They don't mess around.
Yeah, they don't mess around.
And so it finally says, when he asks Lucy if she knows what the doc is. She goes, I don't know. It's like, I believe you because I read your journal, and now all of a sudden everybody knows about the journal. Finally, that's how
That's
they
one
open.
of those lovely awkward moments.
yeah,
and
that's
she's
just like,
sitting there like, stop talking.
Please, this
And he's
didn't
like,
happen.
guys, so y'all know, we've been hanging out.
Yeah, it feels like when you're like at a party and you're like that one friend that you're like, no, I didn't want you to tell anybody. Yeah, and it's like, guys, we've been hanging out every weekend.
We're besties. I have her journal.
I've been reading her diary. I know everything about her now.
Oh my
Yeah.
god.
Oh, that's hysterical.
Yeah, but all the secrets were coming out. Is that what is this was called Secrets and Lies?
It's called the Watergate Tape.
Oh, the Watergate Tape.
Yes.
I think
You're
I didn't know the-
looking at it
Yeah, I saw that.
Yes.
It says
You're
Secrets
looking
and
at
Lies,
it.
but
think
that's what
there's
this episode was about.
I think
Yeah.
that's what I think there's a show called Secrets and Lies.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What a coincidence.
Right? But yeah, I like that. Yeah, pretty much everything was just out on the table. But it's good now because now that we're kind of halfway through the season, I guess I don't really know how many episodes we have. I know Carrie and I
10.
looked at it. Was it 10?
Yes.
Okay, so we're getting there.
We wondered how long it would take. We were like making bets, I think.
What episode? 6? Yeah.
This episode 6.
Yeah, so we got halfway there.
Through.
Yeah.
Because this is like that 20-minute mark in a movie where something happens and it goes up or it goes down.
Yeah, and we finally, but now there's nothing holding them back.
Yep.
At this point, they're like, all right,
Well,
this is it.
I do appreciate though that now that everything's on the table, they can kind of bond together better. Because now they're like, okay, guess what? We all were dealing with some bad stuff right now, so can we all like have a little bit of solidarity instead of like be angry at each other?
Now they're going to be a real
Well,
team.
I'm gonna get more
It's like a
into
marriage.
Yeah.
You get
Well,
get your
'cause-
shit out. It's like,
No.
oh,
you go.
Yeah,
okay.
I mean that's
Yeah.
how you get
Yeah.
to the next level. Is to get
Yes.
all the,
Yeah.
the dirty laundry.
Because
out.
I also feel like I'm tired of that scene where somebody else that has a secret, when they get mad at somebody else that has a secret revealed against them. Like, come on. Already
Come on.
Rufus. So when Rufus gets mad at Lucy, I'm like,
What about you?
why?
Yeah.
Yes,
What
we know,
about
and we know
And
that
then-
scene's going to come.
And
like,
then
come
it
on.
did, and then I love how, I mean, not to like jump too far ahead into the episode of how like why it's like you both lied to me, and I'm like, this is not, again, not to be punny, this is not the time. We have
Right,
way
we have work to do.
We have way more important things, and the fact that everyone's like, I'm just not gonna talk to you now.
I can
And I'm
never
like,
trust you again.
I'm like, one, Rufus had to do it because his family was at stake.
Right.
You too, of all people, should know that. I hated when Lucy was like, my sister is gone. I'm like,
Totally
this is
different
totally
thing.
different. Your sister was gone because of time. His family is at risk. They could die at any moment.
Yeah, why can't people hear that? He's like, they were going to kill
again,
my family. You know,
Yeah,
it's like,
that's the problem. Like we've been talking
We
about
don't
this
care,
for weeks,
you know?
and we're like, I feel like it's just like selective hearing. They're like, we heard one thing and then just completely forgot about everything
Right.
else.
I don't know if it's true on episodes, but someone in the chat pointed out there's 17 episodes.
Wow, snaps! Well, then we have plenty of
Well,
stuff.
because IMDb right now just lists 10, but we're
Maybe there's
linked
more.
to that article that there's more coming
Yeah,
out.
they did get
If
some.
anybody
yeah.
has
So-
the link, tweet it out
Yeah,
so that we can
retweet
find out.
it
Because
to
I
us
have no idea
to
right now.
reconfirm that.
Because
yeah.
maybe it's 10 at the holiday break, and then maybe we'll get more after.
There
Because that's
you go.
usually what ends up happening.
did you read the same article where they said the AfterShow was so good for Timeless that they decided to give it another season?
I'm down. I'm okay with
you know.
Fantastic.
Thanks, guys.
It's especially that guy Frank without the cowboy hat.
Yeah.
I was
love that Malcolm said that.
Yes.
So funny.
And
Especially you, buddy.
and also another one now pointing out in the chat, only truthful one this episode technically is Wyatt.
No, correct.
Yes.
No, and I again, there's nothing wrong
Yeah.
with it. I just don't like when they're starting to point fingers when everyone's in a totally different situation.
I
Just like
bet
how
you we find out
complained-
he's lied about something.
That's what I was talking about earlier, but at this point, I don't know.
It's not so much a lie, but he's not told the whole story about what happened with
Omitting
his wife.
truth.
You're
Yeah.
Yes.
right.
Yeah.
Omitting is a lie.
So
No.
We're not going to get into this here. We actually don't have enough time for that.
That's a whole bigger
That's a
discussion.
whole different one. We'll do it, Timeless After Dark.
Yes.
We'll talk about that there.
but you could say Wyatt's omission of parts of the circumstances about his wife's death. I mean, it certainly doesn't directly impact the team at this point.
Right, yeah.
We'll see what happens.
Well,
So
kind of through his emotions and his inability to show up in the way that he could.
just to get past it and just
Maybe.
fall in love with Lucy.
I mean, I'm really happy that, again, I don't want to go too far, but I like that Wyatt just kind of
Just take it over the edge.
I like that he just continued to be like, look, we have to continue what we're doing.
Yes.
Like, I
Yeah.
liked that part, even though
Well, it goes with his character. He's practical.
Right.
It's to the point, and like, what is the best for their survival?
yeah, I mean, besides jabbing them, being like, I can't trust you. I'm like, how can we move forward if you can't trust?
But that was the weird part about Garcia Flynn, because when he was explaining it to Wyatt, was Wyatt letting any of it sink in?
I feel like he was remembering these details,
But he just
I
not
think
care.
I think that at the same time he really doesn't trust him because of the fact that he has him handcuffed to a chair. Like
Right.
it's just, it doesn't seem like, I loved that shot, the one that you pointed out, the two shot
Their
of their
faces?
faces. I really loved that because it was trying to get us to see them on the same level, which
Yes.
is cool.
Oh.
But at the same time, I understand that it's also kind of hard. That's why Wyatt was out of focus, because it seemed like he just wasn't really paying attention.
That's your film knowledge coming to the forefront.
Kind of like that. I mean, especially since this girl was doing a movie earlier.
You are an
so-
asset to this team.
You're all important. That's the point.
All right. Yeah.
I was waiting for Frank to just like
She's
Shut up.
She's such a uniter. She's such a uniter.
gag me with a spoon. Here we go.
How you doing today, Frank? You okay?
Doing great, Karen. Doing great. So we do find out that they want Flynn wants his doc. He says Rittenhouse wants it. I want
Yes.
it first. So the idea is I'm going to hold Wyatt, Flynn, Lucy, Rufus. You go get this doc. Bring
Yes.
it back to me if you want to see Wyatt back, and you got 5 hours to do it. And like Lucy goes, hey, you know what? Just talk to Deep Throat. That's the guy to talk to. Which I'm like, cool. Nobody else knows about him for 30 years. His real identity. We can talk to him right now. Mm-hmm. So we get a little Deep Throat meeting there.
That was a little pun or a little double entendre. Yeah.
Okay, there.
Innuendo.
And but they made the innuendos themselves.
yeah,
I see.
they did.
Frank turns red as he says it, though. He's like,
No, it was a great timing. They
Listen,
exit the phone booth together, a guy and a girl, and the guy's like, time to go deep throat. And you're
And then
like,
one was like, oh,
she's like, oh my goodness.
oh my gosh.
She's like, can I be next?
Right? She's like, me.
oh my God.
But yeah, I thought it was really funny that they were able to kind of throw that joke in there and then
Yes.
move on from
Why
it.
do you reckon they called him Deep Throat?
I thought it was because of the voice changer that they did for him.
Oh, really?
Because I mean, I have no idea. This is just me guessing.
I mean, but it was crass back then. They knew it was a porn, and they still called him Deep Throat,
wait,
right?
was it a porn?
Or was it not a porn?
I don't think it was a porn at that point.
It just
in time, right?
sounds
Oh, really?
inappropriate.
So
Yeah.
the porn came after the
I think
scandal.
so.
He ate a lot of bananas.
I go,
Sure.
That's why.
That's
Man, that potassium. But no, I have no idea if it was because of the
Okay.
thing that he used.
Could somebody
change
let
his
us know
voice.
if the porn came after Watergate or before
That's not the
Watergate?
important
great
part.
timeless
The
after
important
show,
part was
guys.
knowing what Deep Throat meant. Dear God. Frank, can you please move us on now?
All right.
Jesus.
So,
I'm just trying to do my part.
well, Lucy and Rufus are
I got
tracking
the-
down are tracking down Doc. We do get as Carrie and Alexis
Thank
were
you,
talking
Neil.
about. We're talking about that conversation between Flynn and Wyatt.
Yeah. Oh,
And
man,
we
that
get
was
finally
rough.
learn some of Flynn's backstory.
Yes.
That he was that he got and the NSA
And-
shopped out a mission for him, and he just asked one question because he found out about this money being funneled towards
Yeah.
Connor Mason, and it's like, hey, wait a second, who's this Rittenhouse? And as he says, by one question, all of a sudden his wife and his daughter were killed.
Tells you keep your
it
mouth
gives,
shut.
gives us a possible reason for his motivation. We've been all wondering for so long, like, why is he doing this? What is the purpose? What is he trying to achieve? And we learned it's essentially to take down these people that destroyed his family, but he does not mind collateral damage. Of
Right.
like, I don't care if everyone dies, but if I take down Rittenhouse, it's all good.
See, that's what's interesting is that they're all missing people now. Between Wyatt missing his, his family and his wife, and you all know what I'm talking about. Everybody's missing somebody.
So, not to interrupt,
Oh, yeah.
according to our awesome Tanya, who has been
Our awesome Tanya.
Tanya.
Yeah, I call her my awesome Tanya because she's a great AfterBuzz viewer. She sent us a link, and it said the time travel drama's first season has been extended to 16 episodes.
Wow.
According to TV Line. I haven't seen any other
Anything
ones yet.
about it being a holiday break?
I mean, I'm going to assume if it's going to stop at 10, and Wikipedia just hasn't updated it, but that's
IMDb hasn't
So-
even updated it. I
Yeah.
would think they would. Because
I
they're
mean,
not
yeah.
slow at updating things.
I know, it's weird, but...
Nobody uses that site. Okay.
IMDb?
I agree with you. I like IMDb.
I got the app.
But yeah, no, I don't... That's all it says for right now.
So
Now, I thought what was cool, though, is that we did learn, while Flynn knows about Rittenhouse, he doesn't know a lot about it, and that he does have Lucy's journal, but Lucy didn't write everything down, so he doesn't have...
like a real journal.
Yeah,
Makes
he
sense.
doesn't have knowledge of every single thing. There are
Yep.
facts and details that are left out of that as well.
And what's interesting too is we do know that the name Rittenhouse traces back to that time that was at 1748, that time or 1778, that time period, and we know it had something to do with the mint. I don't know if they're going to really tie that in or not, but Rittenhouse seems to be deep pockets.
Did you find the meaning?
Oh,
Sorry, I see our
He's still
engineer
looking.
looking at stuff. You just chime in whenever you
Do you
find an
guys
answer.
think it's
to the
possible
deep,
that
the deep throat alluding to the deep background. Sorry, Carrie.
Deep throat is deep
it's-
background.
Not for the love of bananas or the...
The love of bananas.
But yeah, it says Deep Throat alluding
That's a
to
great
the
saying,
deep
for the
background
love of
status
bananas.
of his information and to the movie, which was the cause of controversy at the time. The name was chosen due to the amount of publicity of the film and the ambiguity of
I knew it.
lacking. Wait, the film as in like the porn or just?
I think so.
Yeah.
Okay, I just want to make sure. sure
So
it's
the
correct.
film happened first.
I think it happened at the same
Yes.
time. Yeah, 1972, so
72.
it was at the same time.
Wow.
So that's why he picked it. One for his deep, alluring voice and for the film.
Okay.
For the film.
So yeah, we both won.
So at this point, now that we know Flynn's kind of motivation, do we think he'll? This has kind of been proposed in the chat, and we've all talked about it a bit.
Yeah.
One, is he going to team up with the team, and is he really that bad of a guy? Now that we know motivation, or is there something more to it, and we're just being shown him as the bad
I'm
guy?
glad that you brought that up because a fan tweeted us before the show started to ask, do we think that Flynn is a bad guy?
I mean, I
in
certainly
all
don't
this
think
after hearing the
his
story.
motivations for wanting to find out what Rittenhouse is all about,
Right.
I think are come from a good place. But the way he wants to try to stop Rittenhouse, where it's just basically, as he tells Wyatt, Rittenhouse and America, they're intertwined, and it's basically, as
You
Wyatt
look at
calls it,
Hitler and
scorched
say
earth.
he wanted to create a superior race, and therefore he was a good person too. So it's like Flynn could just be a complete asshole. That's
I mean, he
in the
kinda
guise of because he's willing to off people.
It's one of those, he's like chaotic good, you know,
Yeah.
like he has good intentions, but his methods are not
Yeah,
safe.
because of the fact like when he came in, he's like, I had to kill a White House guard.
Yeah,
Or
he's
maybe
like,
two.
Maybe two, yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah, so like the fact that I feel
Yeah.
like the loss, I think he was a good person at one point. He snapped
Yeah.
because he saw his family being murdered in front of him, and he couldn't do anything about it. And then now he's just kind of out for revenge, and it doesn't matter. Whoever gets in his way is going to get in his way.
And he said Rittenhouse is so interwoven with the United States that you couldn't separate them.
Yeah, so at
that's
this point, it
interesting.
doesn't even matter.
Yeah, because I was just going to add to that then that's my question people are talking about in the chat room is, so yeah, why can't he just destroy it before it starts? I know it's interwoven with American history and all that, but why can't you just destroy it before it even?
I guess there's just too many.
Because he said it's just too linked
yeah,
together
I guess
that
there's too many
it's-
wires to cut.
He may not know.
Yeah, I mean,
They may not know details
Exactly
when, where,
where
and
and
how.
who
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the other thing too is even if you stop it before it starts, doesn't mean it's not going to start again later.
That's also true.
Can I share
Seems
a
like
metaphor?
Sure.
This came from one of the other shows about doing frequency.
Sure.
And they talked about this tree, because it's a time type thing. They said with a tree, if you cut off a branch, another one will just grow back, and you cut off a
Yeah.
branch, it keeps growing back, so you got to get it at its roots. And start, and so it's got to
Ah.
go back to the troots, damn it.
Yes.
that's
That
true.
makes sense.
Very
I
much
like
so. So while we do that, we do find out that Rufus, thanks to the BLA, they're able to track down where Doc is. And we find out that Doc is not a document, but it is a person. It's a woman, to be specific. And she has a PhD from her time in Chicago, the same university that Lucy teaches at, which I thought was kind of nice, where they compare the same other teacher that's there. And they're like,
I
oh,
like
yeah.
that one. Their little moment to bond, and she's like, old, he's only 38. She's like, well,
that's just a nickname.
yeah.
And I found with a really cool piece of information too, is because as Lucy starts asking her about Rittenhouse, Doc says that people are born into this.
Yes, that was interesting.
Yeah, you don't join; you're born into it.
Yeah.
So kind of curious to see where we find out where Lucy ends at the end
That's
of the
why
episode.
Lucy's part of it, maybe?
Yeah, we'll see what
Well,
like her
well,
ties
I
to all
mean,
this.
we
If her
technically
dad
know-
is. Well, you don't know. We don't know who he
Who
called.
he called? True.
But
Because people were like immediately like, oh, he's part of Rittenhouse now. But I'm like, but we don't
What if
know.
there's-
He
yeah.
didn't go,
True.
hello, Rittenhouse. I have
He could
information
be-
for you.
He
Maybe
could
he
be part
could
of
be
the
like
Freedom
a-
Fighters.
Yeah,
What
I
if
was
he
gonna say he
called
could be a part of the
Flynn?
resistance, and
Yeah.
he probably called.
You know?
Yeah, he could have
He-
called Flynn, or he could have
Yeah.
called maybe that's how they started working
Right.
together. Was Flynn was part of the resistance, and then it
Or
went to
even
hell.
the people launching the time
Sorry, I
travel,
just-
Mason Industries.
Yeah,
Could be
maybe.
calling
be.
them too.
Yeah,
Could
I
be.
mean, I
We don't know.
It could
Well,
literally go in any direction.
It brings to mind, though, like the secret societies and stuff like that. And if you look at the
Yes.
Masons and the Masonics, and then you look at some of the other secret societies that we know really did exist,
Yeah.
that it's quite possible that there could be this underlying friction between two of them or something, or something like that.
I don't want to start going down this rabbit hole, guys, but there is a secret society at AfterBuzz. I don't want to get into it, but anyway.
Frank started it.
Shh,
All
guys.
right. Well,
Don't say that
it's
name.
okay.
How dare you?
Uh-oh. Don't say AfterBuzz, guys. Don't say
Oh
AfterBuzz.
no! What have you done?
Oh no!
So, anybody think it's comparable to Harry Potter and Voldemort? Somebody said it's like Voldemort.
Oh my god, it'd be
say-
really funny. You can't say Rittenhouse. They should not be named.
What did we call him? He who should not be named.
Yeah,
Yes.
he should not be named.
He who should not be named.
Yeah.
So then we do get, as we mentioned, Wyatt is proven to. Excuse me. Flynn proves to Wyatt that, hey, I know about you as well because Lucy wrote you in the journal. And we learn more about Wyatt's backstory with he and his wife, and it doesn't quite feel like basically she was strangled 2 weeks after she
Yeah.
kind of like
It's
got
not
dropped
really-
off out of Wyatt's car.
That's horrible.
No,
Yes.
she was found strangled.
Yeah, 2 weeks.
Right.
Sorry, the
In
way
the
I heard you
bushes.
is it was
Yeah,
more
yes.
that it happened later.
No.
I mean, could
But
you
there-
imagine something like that? Would suck.
Well, that's why.
That would-
That's why he's so
He's so
bent
messed
up.
up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't believe that Lucy wrote that, but I also don't know what happens to future Lucy at this point in time. She'd be
Yes.
maybe her and Wyatt get into a fight, and he's just like, just get over it. I don't know.
What's the question is if it was anything grander scheme or if it literally was an
That's true.
unfortunate murderer in the area like at
Yeah.
that time or was that
Or
a
maybe-
plan?
yeah, to
like
get-
was someone following them?
Yeah,
Was
maybe to
it
get
an intent to kill her
maybe
ahead
they
of
knew
time?
that Wyatt was
Yeah.
going to be part
So
of this
somebody
team,
from
so they had to
Rittenhouse
kill.
trying to go
conspiracy
back.
something, yeah. Or
I
is
mean, it
it
makes
just
sense.
a serial killer and
I mean,
it
we
sucks,
won't-
wrong place, wrong time?
Yeah, I mean, you never know. I mean, obviously.
Well, we might later.
I hope so.
That might be a mystery.
Well,
Do we think we're gonna know how his wife died? I kind
Well,
of
she
feel
just
like
got
they're
strangled.
Just, you mean
they
to
don't
see
know
it?
who.
Who? Oh, who did
They
it?
don't know who did it.
Right.
I mean, we did technically see a guy who strangled somebody today in the episode.
Did we?
Yeah,
Yes.
one of Flynn's guys.
One
Yeah.
of Flynn's guys strangled somebody, and they spent quite a bit of time on that.
I
So
thought
that must be
they're-
the Strangler.
They either
don't
might
know.
not give us it at all, or it might not be till way later.
I mean, I have no idea. I'm just nitpicking at this
Yeah,
point.
I mean, I feel like you don't establish something like that
And you
if
don't
it
keep
doesn't have
picking
some
at
sort of
it.
payoff.
Well, no, because
Yeah.
that's why I think that we talked about it earlier that the wife has to come back at some point.
Yeah.
So,
And I can see like Wyatt kind of.
What if it's all fake? She's not really dead.
oh snaps! And she
what
works
if
for
she
Rittenhouse.
runs Rittenhouse? I know.
You never know.
Not running,
You
but
never
she's
know.
part of it, maybe.
I
Because
could-
they like.
Maybe they had
A
to pick
fake
her
body.
up. Yeah, maybe they had to pick her up,
Yeah.
and she's like, oh, he.
I think we're getting far fetched now.
Yeah, but
Now? I think that ship sailed a while
None
ago.
of that stuff is believable, guys.
Yes.
This is a real show here.
Back when Nixon was talking about vampires and zombies during that 18 and a half minutes, we kind of set sail on the unbelievable stuff.
Yeah.
But I feel like Wyatt had that moment of like, I could relate to Flynn when Flynn says the reason I want to go back to the beginning is if I destroy it then, since I can't go back into my own timeline and save my wife and child. If I destroy it at the beginning, maybe everything changes.
But
and he
I
comes
also
back.
like
Get it
that
at the
Flynn.
roots.
That Flynn didn't sit there and be like, "Yeah, you could just go back." Like I like that he was like, "No, you know the rules. Like you can't."
I
go
like
back
they
to a time."
reiterated
Right.
that.
Yeah, that was really
Yes.
good because
I keep
obviously-
thinking of those because
Well, yeah, because if that was the case, we wouldn't be in this situation. He would just go back in time, help save his wife and kid, and then we
Right.
move on with our lives.
But in terms of wondering who killed Wyatt's wife, it's not likely that it couldn't have been Flynn, right? Flynn can't go back there to a timeline that he was already living in.
No, he can. He just can't be in the same.
In the same place.
Where he would have been.
Yeah, like he can't go back into the part
Matter,
where.
antimatter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because then you run the risk of seeing each other, and then it ruins everything.
Right.
Yeah. We also have time
The
travel,
whole
guys. We know how that
TV
works.
show. Yeah.
Pretty
The whole
much.
TV show.
The entire plot. The entire plot hole.
And we do find out that everybody in Rittenhouse has some kind of part that they play. And for Doc, she kept the role. She knows all the members other than the leaders of Rittenhouse. She's the only other person that knows everybody that's involved, and it's not
See,
redone. It's
All in her brain.
That's right,
See,
Kari.
that's not what my scandal was. I thought it was just because Nixon was sleeping with a black woman. That's what I thought the
I
scandal
thought that
was.
could have been exciting though. Too.
Yeah, that could have been exciting.
Alexis got very excited by that
Well, because
prospect.
I thought it was
Little
cool.
spice.
Biracial, and you're like,
Yeah.
oh my
Well, because it was the 60s, you know, like that wasn't
And
a
you're
thing.
the president. That would have been a
That would
big,
have
like,
been huge, you know, like the fact of just like
Yeah.
talking about like his mistress. I don't know, man. Like
Nixon
just
was getting a little
politics.
strange.
Yeah.
Maybe it's both.
Fever. Like, I don't know, man. Like that's just what it seemed like to me.
Yeah,
but
you
I
seemed to
like
light up when that happened.
Well, because I have a white boyfriend, that's why. Let's be honest.
yeah.
Sorry. Loving you. But, like, the fact, just because of the time frame
Yes.
and the fact that he's a president's, like, scandal and crap,
Yeah.
like, it's just, I don't know, I thought it'd be cool. But I also like that she has a larger role, not just,
Yes.
like,
Right.
some floozy that Nixon was sleeping with.
Yeah.
Right.
You know?
She
During
has
this,
a doctorate degree.
that's true,
She
yeah.
had a PhD.
She's
You
Yeah.
thought she was a
Get it, girl.
floozy like that.
No, I didn't know,
And
like, that's not what I was thinking.
we were giving her
because I was
credit.
thinking, no, I was thinking that she was a college student who had
Yeah.
a PhD, that's why she's called Doc, but she was sleeping with Nixon. That's
Yeah.
what I was getting at. And that she was taking in information for something, but not Rittenhouse. That was
thought
my
that?
my initial, like,
So
oh
you
my
thought
god.
Doc was sleeping with Dick.
That is not how I
Richard
put that in
Nixon.
my head.
No, Richard Nixon.
I know,
Doc and
but
Dick.
like that's
Yeah.
not how. But continue.
I thought
So
yeah.
Rufus has been making calls throughout the episode, doing his reports as he's supposed to be doing to this number. And I do like that the guy that he calls, like it always feels like he's like catching him in the middle, like there's something's burning on the stove because he's always like report. He's always so
Yeah.
angry when he does that.
I was stuck
Yeah,
to
they
do.
every time it was like,
I'm like,
it's like
so
wow,
angry.
so angry, so
Yes.
angry. Be like,
He has like
take
popcorn
a
burning
deep
like, in
breath.
the microwave. He's like, oh, report, hurry up. The popcorn smell's never gonna leave my house. Hurry up.
Or maybe he hasn't eaten or.
It takes all the popcorn.
Blood
We could
sugar's
burn it,
rising.
He could be
you
like
know?
helping out his wife or something,
Right.
like cooking, and she's like, honey, report, hurry up. She doesn't know what I'm doing.
But then we find out that Lucy comes in on Rufus making that call, and finally Lucy hears about Rufus's secret, and that's that he's been recording all their conversations. And then we get to Alexis's least favorite scene on the show, where they
was so
have that
stupid.
terrible contrived argument, like, wait, but you lied to me, but no, you lied
I
to
was like,
me.
we are doing this right now while we have a person that we're trying.
I thought Rufus handled it well, though. He like kind of got down to business and
he
told her the
did.
truth.
I love that he got rid
I
of
thought it
the
was good.
recorder. Like they
Yeah.
had stuff that they needed to do. I just hated that she's like, I can never trust you again. And I was like, girl, you were in the same spot. You shut your mouth. Like I was just so upset.
So calm down. Yeah.
Yeah, I felt like Rufus asked her several times during the course of the episode, are we going to be okay? Can we trust each other? And Lucy
But the-
always
At
would
the end,
never.
are we good?
And then she just like,
Again.
and she just
And
walked
she won't
away. In my
answer.
brain, I was going, his family is
like women.
literally being watched by a group that
Right.
wants to kill all of you. Shut
Yes. Yep.
up.
Yes.
So they come up with an elegant solution since Rittenhouse wants Doc, but also Flynn wants Doc.
Oh, I
it's-
like that. That was so
awesome.
good.
Yeah, so they put those two people
Like a Bond
head to
film.
head. Yep, they
Yes.
give them the
That
same
was very
location
James Bond.
and let them meet up, and a nice little gunfight ensues.
And even
That was
Flynn was impressed.
Yes.
Yeah, he liked
He's
that.
like, oh, good. That was
Slow
a slow
clap.
clap.
Well,
He's
that-
like,
clap for you, buddy.
That's because he won. If the
yeah,
other guys won the fight, it wouldn't have been so.
Well, no,
no, but he
then
realized
died.
he was duped. He's like, all right, I'm
You got
impressed.
me.
You got me.
He's like, all right, you're not as lame as I thought you guys were. Like they showed they were impressive and a worthy opponent in a way.
yeah.
Or a
Like
worthy partner.
just like a James Bond thing.
a worthy future partner.
Yes, that too.
There you go. And Rufus makes one last call with Rittenhouse to kind of just like, hey, sorry, Flynn got in the way. We lost her, so sorry. To kind of cover his bases, and they head back to the present, send Doc off to meet her family in Hong Kong. Hopefully her husband and child are safe there. They get back to the present, but they're not able to find any information about Doc. So who knows
Yeah.
if she made it there. We hope that she did.
Well, information on her totally could have changed her name a bunch of times.
Yeah.
Totally, off the
I would've.
grid. Yes.
No, somebody.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So then, but of course, during this whole time, Wyatt has learned about everybody's lies and secrets there, and everything's
Yes.
revealed. And so now it's the times are a little tense between our threesome there. And
I hope
could
they get
say
over it by the
that.
next one.
By the next episode, they're like, I slept on it. It's good.
Right? Yeah.
all good.
I really hope that's what it is.
I
Like,
was
don't
really
wanna
mad at you, but I thought about it, and we're good now. Like that's they're like little kids.
They are. Like I feel like I
Yeah.
was like, can we be adult about this
Right.
and know that there's a killer on the loose, or the fact that your families
Yes.
are all in danger, even though it might just be just Rufus's family at this point,
Yep.
but it doesn't matter. Like the balance of time.
Let's grow up. Come on, we have a primetime television show.
I know,
We can
jeez.
get over this.
Stop it with your drama. It's stupid.
And Rufus is called
Stupid.
on the carpet again by our Rittenhouse guy in the car, and says, "Been waiting 44 years
Oh my
to
god,
ask you
the
this
guy
question."
cannot get a break.
No,
Yeah,
it's
no,
like-
but didn't you think that? It's like,
I-
shit, he walks out the door. He just got his balls busted by her.
That's what I'm saying. It was the fact that she was like, whatever, and she walked away, and then who shows up? Rittenhouse is like, get in the car. And I'm like,
Jeez Louise.
Poor
hey,
guy.
Lucy, you see this? Yeah, doing this every day? Yeah, you can go after yourself. Like,
Yes.
Stop
So we
it.
found out he was the guy that Rufus was actually calling and making those
I
reports.
thought that
to.
was actually kind of
That
funny.
was- yeah. I would.
I really
He
liked
was still just as grumpy today.
Yes, exactly.
He probably still has that
I want to know
burnt
the answer to
popcorn
that
smell.
question. They're like,
Still has that burnt popcorn
Calm
smell
down,
just in his
dude.
apartment for
Yes.
4 years.
He's not a very nice
Yes.
guy.
You know, that smell has lingered for 44 years.
I'm upset. You ruined my life.
That's funny. I had this question for 44 years.
Yes.
Okay, let me answer that for you.
So upset.
And we end the episode where Lucy does go up to the father's house and opens the door, and it's our Rittenhouse guy, Benjamin Cahill, is really our Rittenhouse dude. And he ends the episode by making a little phone
Or
call.
we don't know who he was actually,
Yes,
right?
that's
We
true.
don't know.
Yep. He says,
could be
"Yeah, you
anybody.
wouldn't believe who showed up at my door."
But again, yeah, that could be
Anybody.
It could be
Yeah.
anybody.
Yep.
I like how they did that because it's not necessarily, we don't know if he called
Right.
bad people. I mean,
that's
that would
what it-
almost be boring if we know 100%. Be like,
That
we
would
like the
suck,
mystery.
too. That
Because we
would
know
suck.
so much
Yeah.
after this episode
Yep.
that you know what I
Oh,
liked in this
yes.
episode? I like to see Rufus coming into this strength and his ability to tell a lie and just look at you while he's telling the lie. He
Oh,
didn't
yeah,
have that
Kanye.
before, right? He was so
Yeah.
he was so kind of weak, and now he's really coming into his strength. And, and we saw it both when he was being Kanye, and also at the very end there where he's like, "No, why would I?" You know,
Yeah.
and he's kind of
Yeah, I'm
standing up.
very
He's
proud
turned into
of
a good spy.
His character development
Yeah.
so
Yes.
far has been really,
Yeah.
really good. But I agree with
Rockstar.
with Katie Robinson in the chat. That lamp was great when Lucy
There's a
had
lot
the
of
lamp.
comedy.
She was trying to help out, and she's like, "You good?" I was like, "You go, Lucy. You get in there."
Yeah, people are noticing they felt this episode had a lot of comedy for Lucy.
Yeah, I felt
Yeah.
I was really happy for her because when she was trying to get in, she's like, "Sir, no, okay, I'll just wait out here." And I was like, "Girl, just wait."
Yes. So
Let
you
him-
made him wait so many times.
I'm like, you can let him.
Calm
I
down.
loved seeing that switch of just her, just like, I guess I'll just wait out
Yeah.
here. And he's
So,
like, I got this.
As we look back over this episode, of course, we're talking about a lot of information revealed.
Yes.
Are you guys happy about the amount of information that was revealed
yeah.
and
Oh, yeah.
how it was revealed?
yeah.
Yes.
Do you
Oh,
still feel
good.
like, in terms of like things that you want to know, how does that rank now? Do you feel like you are satisfied with what you know, or is there still a lot of stuff that you still want
there's
to
still
know?
a lot we don't know.
Still so much.
Well,
But that you want that you're crying out right now, like why? I just want to know this. Or do you feel like, I'm so cool. I'm right now. I'm cool to go with the ride for several more episodes.
I had a snack. I can wait till dinner time, kind of a thing.
Nice.
You know?
Okay.
Like,
Wow,
okay.
what a great way to put that.
Great. I liked that.
Because you're not like I'm done, but you're like I'm satiated.
Satiated.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm I can't talk right now. I'm satiated for right now.
Yeah.
That I can go. All right, I'll wait. I'm not just like I need more.
Yeah.
But I want to know more.
No,
so
it's
we're
great.
looking forward.
It's
to
like
it.
you've had the pumpkin pie, but not the turkey.
But you were eating dessert before.
Oh,
man.
shit.
Yeah, no.
I do that.
Not a bad call, Chris.
Talk
I
about
love
it.
it.
Hey, man, you do it.
We can
I
have
really do,
snacks
yeah.
a whole other episode.
Okay.
But yeah, so
got some reviews to talk about,
there's
too.
other huge things coming up later, but this was enough to because we've been going so long with knowing like a lot of nothing, or it was all our independent characters knowing too much, and it was nice to finally come together. Like that's the other thing it shows it's can be so frustrating is where it's, everybody has one piece of information and nobody goes, hey guys, so I
Yeah,
need to tell
we'll
you
put this all
something. There's been
together.
weird stuff going down. We need to chat. It's like, thank you, because that's what real people would do if they're part of a team. I mean, yes, some people, you keep some secrets, but you'd maybe, something's wrong. Can
How do you know
talk
real
about it?
people do that, though? Have you ever seen a television once that did that? Television show?
Well, no, not a television show. She was
I
talking
mean,
about
no,
like people
some
in
do
real life.
eventually, but they just take forever to get there.
Well, I'm hoping we don't have to do that now that we got
You're
all
like,
this crap out
glad
of the
you're
way.
talking.
I
Yeah.
would have loved to have the episode done where one of them, either Lucy White or Rufus, all would have said like, well, the three of them are together. Like, all right, guys, let's just put everything on the table right now.
That would be
We've
good,
had our shake.
yes.
We've lied. We've had our reasons for doing it. But right now, come on, can we just
No,
compare?
because
Yes.
everyone's butthurt and it's dumb.
No,
Yeah.
but it's like I
sorry.
love that.
What did
I
you say?
love butthurt. is what I
I've never
said.
heard that.
I mean, I love the Timeless writers. I love the show. There's just that one thing I was just like, this is only for drama and it's dumb.
Grandma.
Yeah,
And for drama, too.
Grandma.
yeah. My grandma says drama instead of
Drama.
drama.
Your grandma?
Stop with your dream. Well,
It's all good.
hearing about what we're looking forward in future episodes, why don't we do a little predicting?
Yay!
Quick predictions, because then we got our bag to reveal, too.
Yes.
Got a lot of stuff to read.
Predictions?
Yes, Chris.
Okay, what do
think?
I predict? I predict that I'm going to say that the guy at the end was part of the freedom fighters. I got to go the other way. Yeah, he's a good
Okay.
guy.
I will jump
I
on that
agree. Her
bandwagon.
father's on the good side.
Yeah, I also will
Interesting.
jump on that as well.
And
Wow.
then Flynn's not going to be as evil as we think he is.
No, I think that there's something that he's just
Bad methods, but not as evil as we think
Right.
he is.
Yeah, and then hopefully I do agree with you that I think they will team up towards the end.
Yeah.
and then
In some way, probably out of necessity, don't you
Yeah,
think?
and then I mean, again, I'm not
Well, the
saying that
enemy
Flynn's
of my
gonna-
enemy is
Right.
my friend.
Yeah, it makes sense. I mean, I don't know if Flynn's gonna survive to the next season. I think they'll have to deal with a different baddie at that point in time because he's already.
Unless he's part of the team at that point.
I mean, that would be
Right.
great too. I just don't know if the people that they're working for, the government's going to be okay with that. Is
Right.
what I'm
Probably not.
Is what I'm saying. They'll probably just be like, no, he's going to jail, but you can come back and ask him questions if you want.
Yes.
But it sounds like the government is Rittenhouse. Like they're kind of one and the same. Yeah.
Yeah, so like I said, it depends. Like I said, I think that Flynn will get hurt or die at the end of the season, and then we'll have a different baddie, maybe more government battling or something like that.
I would hope that this does not last multiple seasons. That you could wrap up pretty much like this kind of idea of the storyline, and then the second season could launch off, kind of based off spinning off something else.
Yeah.
From this
Yeah.
episode.
They could be battling Rittenhouse forever, though. I mean,
No.
that's so
I hope
deep.
I
not.
don't want
I hope
either.
not, but yes, I feel like if there's different things that we can throw in there, then sure.
So now, before we wrap up the show, as we mentioned at the top, Alexis is going to read some of the 5-star
bringing
reviews.
it
We're going
up
to pick
now.
one of those, and that is going to be the lucky winner of Kari Lane's second bag from Comic-Con. All about timeless.
That's me.
All right.
Yes.
So I'm gonna go through these kind of quickly. So I apologize if I blast through them. And yeah. Okay. So the first one we have is called "Engaging Hosts," 5 stars by Mia Mundi. Love how much time is said in the podcast. I think the group is pretty diverse in thought and makes the podcast really enjoyable.
Very true. Look at Frank.
Second one is Love Timeless, 5 stars by Blind Guitar Dragon. Great username. I
Yeah.
love that. Love watching the after show. Everyone on the panel is so great and to watch. Love everyone's theories. If I could go back in time, I think I would want to see a medieval Europe or Japan during the time of the samurai. Those are some of my favorite times in history. Good for
Nice.
you. Third one is from Lowlam123. The show is timeless, 5 stars. If I could travel to any time period, it would be the 1920s America. 1920s America because of the outfits, music, and dance, and overall atmosphere of looking up and letting loose. I also agree with that. This one's the longest one, so I'm going to try to run through this really quick. Time period I'd like to visit, JJ4852. My choice was done on the show already, Las Vegas 1960s with the Rat Pack. I'm also a fan of Downton Abbey, so I would like to visit London 1920s. This is how I think Chris got his brown fur coat. Chris was hiking. Oh, he made a story.
I have a story.
nice.
Okay, here we
All
go.
right.
So Chris was hiking in Griffith Park. He came upon a traveling brown bear. It ran towards Chris, growling. Chris ran for the nearest tree to climb onto the limb. The bear walks in circles around the tree and camp under Chris. He clutches the tree limb. It cracks the tree limb, and Chris fall onto the bear, killing the bear instantly. Chris took out a Swiss Army knife to carve himself a brand new fur coat. That's awesome.
Man, you know,
Oh, poor bear.
I know.
It's kind of a sad story, but
It is,
I
yeah.
think we should auction the
I
coat
like
off
that
after
there
we
was-
do the bags.
Anyway, there's 2 left. The second one is this podcast is timeless. We had 2 of those, 5 stars, by the Ash Marie. I love this after show crew. Love their enthusiasm about the show. The time periods I would like to visit are the 20s because of the clothes and the aura and the time period. The late 60s, early 70s to see what my family was like and to meet my grandfather. That's very sweet. And last but not least, by the best hype man ever, Timeless, and this show is my bag. 5 stars. This podcast is great for Timeless. You guys are one of the favorite shows because you don't fanboy. You call it out on its holes, plot holes. I love Timeless and all the hosts that go through this great but weirdly filled show. He wrote that, not me. Keep it up. I listen to a lot of AfterBuzz shows, but you guys are in my top. Best hype man ever out.
wow. What a,
However,
guys-
per our rules, though, only 3 put time periods.
They
Yes.
did? Yeah, so that was.
Yeah, 'cause I like Best Hype Man.
So we have JJ4852, which was the 1960s and 1920s of London, and he also made the story about
The bear
Chris.
story, that was a big story.
We had Blind Guitar Dragon, who wanted to see medieval Europe and Japan during samurai times. Mia Mundi. Oh wait, no, sorry.
That was also, she said 20s as well.
No. That was Lowlam was the 20s, and.
I thought somebody twice
We had a
said
lot of
20s.
other
Yeah,
things.
no, the Ashmore, pretty much everybody else except
20s and
for
medieval.
Mia Mundi.
So it's 3, yeah?
20s,
No,
medieval.
that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Oh, okay.
No, we had 5. So
Oh, I
5
can't
out of
count.
it's okay. 5 out of the 6 did time stuff. So you have to pick out of the 5.
Okay,
So-
I'll vote for the bear guy. 'Cause
all right.
Okay,
well,
so that's
majority
one.
rules on this, so go ahead.
So
Bear guy.
JJ, so JJ's 1.
If only because I went to Japan, I want to vote for Medieval Japan.
Okay, so that one was for Blind Guitar Dragon.
Me, I got to vote for the guy. The guy named the time periods, and he wrote a story about Chris's jacket. So I got to go for that guy as well.
So JJ, and sadly enough, I was also gonna flick Blind Guitar Dragon.
Ah, so we have a tie.
Okay, so now we have down to 2.
Yep.
Rochambeau.
All right,
Rochambeau.
there you go.
All right.
All right, you two go for it.
All right.
Rochambeau.
Okay.
Because you guys were on different
Okay.
sides.
1.
One.
Hold on, I'll do the counting. Ready? Hold on. Here we go. Ready? Take a deep breath. Hands at the ready. Here we go. One, two, three.
Oh, you did win.
Yeah, paper covers rock.
Shit, I'm sorry. I'm
So-
sorry.
So Blind Guitar Dragon,
I'm
you are
sorry
the
for the
winner
story. It was so good.
of our timeless bag, but also JJ4852,
But that bear story
you
was
are the
very
winner
Bear story was good.
of the podcast. Because that was the best thing ever.
Absolutely. So yes, get in touch with us. We'll make sure we get your contact info so we can get that
Yes.
bag.
Reach out
to
to
you.
us.
Blind Guitar Dragon. I don't know. You didn't put.
Guitar
They didn't
Dragon.
put their usernames.
a
in the
pretty cool
review,
name.
Reach out
so-
to us on Twitter. That'd probably be the easiest.
Yeah, and speaking of that, folks,
Yes.
this is going to bring us to the end of the Timeless After Show. But like us on Facebook, give us those 5 stars. We loved all the 5 stars you read tonight here on iTunes. We'd love even more. So thanks for doing that. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Thanks so much for hopping in the chat and sharing your thoughts about the show. And if you want to continue the conversation or get in touch with us on Twitter, Chris, where can they find you?
Do so. Reach out to me at Chris Howard Live on Twitter and Instagram. You can also go to legendarylivingdaily.com for daily tips, inspiration, motivation, and legendarylivingtv.com for YouTube.
Nice. And you guys can find me online at Kari D Lane. That's KaridLane.
And I'm Alexis Torres. You can find me all over social media at atorres890. That's ATORRES890. Also join me on the weekends. On Saturday, I will start re-uploading video game stuff on Twitch, where you guys can play with me on Destiny or just watch me play stuff.
Cool.
Oh, look at that. I guess I have my weekend plans. There you go. You can follow me on Twitter at HappyGoJackie. Until next week, folks, we'll see you for another edition of the Timeless After Show here on AfterBuzz TV.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
See you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the host only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.